Hello, my name is Chase Williams, and today I want to let you know about my personal experience with Native SOAR. But first, I will give you some background about me. I am multiracial, including Native American, African American, and Caucasian. I am a sophomore here at the University of Arizona, and I have still not decided on what I want to major in. I grew up in a small town in New Jersey, about 25 minutes away from Philadelphia. When I was in 8th grade, I started going to a private school in Philadelphia called Penn Charter, where I finished middle school and high school. I played soccer all 4 years for my high school team and played outside of school on the club team. This helped me get to know a lot of people new who I would have otherwise never met. My first year of college, I was a little nervous about what classes I wanted to take, so I chose ones that I thought I was most comfortable with. This year, I wanted to branch out and get out of my comfort zone a little bit more, so when I got the email asking if I wanted to be in this class, I took the opportunity. This is my first year in Native Soil program, and it has gone very well so far. I joined the class a little late because I did not even realize that this was a class until I got an email asking to be in the class. When I heard I was going to be 2 weeks behind everyone, I was a little nervous, but as soon as I attended my first class, I knew there was going to be nothing to worry about. Everyone in the class was so friendly and gave me a warm welcome into the class, which was very nice. Luckily, I made it in time for the educational and historical timeline presentation, so it was also nice to get to meet the other students that way. The historical timeline was one of the most laid back and fun way to do a presentation because it lets people express their history and show what was important to them. For me, I chose to do the 10 most important things that happened during my life, but others chose to do their timeline from all time. Getting to do this presentation really gave me a good sense of my peers and let me get to know them a lot better. One of the other things that we did throughout the class was listen to a lot of guest speakers. This was great for me to learn how other people from outside of the class thought about the topics that we were learning about. One of my favorites was most likely the one about the Carlisle boarding school because the speaker really emphasized on how much culture was taken away from so many of these indigenous children. After a couple weeks of preparing, it was finally time to meet our mentees. When we were sent who our mentees were, I immediately tried to contact them so that we could try to form an early bond. Unfortunately, my mentee did not show up to many of the meetings and we only got to communicate about 3 times. This was fine, however, because in my meetings I would act as an extra mentor for another student. In the first 2 weeks of meeting with the mentees, we all got to know each other. Through the icebreaker activities, we got a good amount of information about each other that we did not know before. The changes in groups were a little bit confusing, but it also helped me personally because I would always get to meet new mentees if mine did not show up. By the 4th meeting, we had our groups finalized for the meeting, and we all felt like we knew each other pretty well. One of the things that was most helpful to getting to know the mentees was the one-on-one time that we had during them with the sessions. This gave us time to just have our own conversation with the mentee and really give them our advice. All of the meetings went very well because of all the planning that we put into the meetings. Meeting and asynchronous groups were one of my favorite parts about the class because it was a time when our group got to get together and create fun things that we could do with the mentees. This was the part of the day where I would have to be the most creative to come up with ideas for the meetings. It also gave me a feeling of responsibility because I felt like I needed to not just create something for a grade, but also for people who might use this advice later in life. During the asynchronous groups, we met for about an hour and a half, brainstormed ideas for each meeting, and thought of things like the icebreakers for the beginning, the activity for the mentees, and questions to ask the mentees during the one-on-one meetings with them. Having everyone work together was one of the ways that we were able to make a lot of our plans because if we did not, the meeting would be very unorganized. Since my mentee did not show up a lot, I tried to think of more general questions and activities instead of specific ones so that everyone of all age levels could understand. Joining this class was one of the best decisions I have made in a long time for a couple reasons. The main one is that I wanted to help the mentees and try to answer any questions that they had about school or life in general. The other reason is that this class really helped me get out of my comfort zone. This is the first time I've ever mentored anyone in my life, so I was a little nervous, but now I feel I have a little more skill in mentoring. One of my biggest takeaways I have from this class is realizing that doing just a little bit can help a person in a big way.